Drive down the right street in O'Fallon, and you might stumble across a quiet little house with an incredible display of flowers. This is Kathy Krattli's house, and her colorful blooms are planted with such care, you'd think she bred them herself. And you'd be right. Kathy is what's known as a backyard hybridizer, and she's been dreaming up new varietals of daylilies since a chance trip inspired her passion in these vibrant flowers.
I retired in 2000, and just before I retired, I took a trip down to Missouri Botanical Gardens. And I had always gardened, and I had a few daylilies. I had a yellow one, and a pink one, and a red one. But I got down to the gardens, and I was just amazed at the different forms that I didn't know existed. I mean, there's spiders, and there's doubles, and there's purples, and there's pinks. That got me really into it.
Kathy's garden began to take shape, and she joined two clubs devoted to daylilies, the West County Daylily Club and the Region 11 American Daylily Society. But it took some convincing to make the leap from backyard planter to backyard hybridizer.
I had thought about hybridizing, but you have to wait 2 years to see any results. And I didn't think I had that much patience. And OFallonTV was one of our founders of our club. And he talked to me, he says, it's only the first year you have to wait 2 years. If you hybridize every year, then after the first time, you're going to have new stuff every year. So he kind of talked me into it. And I overdid the first few years, made too many seeds. And the trouble is, I have a hard time getting rid of the kids that I make. Some of them are good enough to register, some of them aren't. Either the bud count isn't good enough or the branching isn't good enough. But the flower is so pretty, I can't give it away.
Daylilies are hardy plants. They happily grow in nearly any climate or soil. They enjoy sun and shade, and they're resistant to insects and disease. And most importantly for hybridizers, daylilies are considered perfect flowers, meaning they have both male and female organs inside each flower. This makes it simple for anyone to experiment with their own hybrid varieties. And that might be why there are 80,000 recognized daylilies, with more being added every year. 27 of those are Kathy's own creations, and she's made yearly introductions since 2006. Each is a beautiful addition to the daylily world, and while Kathy loves all of her daylilies, one in particular has really caught her fancy.
The Heavenly Hula Dancer is one of my tall ones. And I was born and raised in Hawaii, so you get this 60-inch high daylily that dances in the breeze, so it had to be Heavenly Hula Dancer. And that's been pretty popular because a lot of people like the taller daylilies.
For some gardeners, hybridizing daylilies is about seeking out particular colors or shapes, bloom timing, or other attributes. Others, like Kathy, just enjoy the process and the joy of seeing new daylilies develop.
I don't know that I really have a goal. I kind of get off my goal. I start one thing and kind of depends what blooms, when those new seedlings bloom, and sometimes that sends me off in another direction.
Every summer, Kathy's backyard garden is full of old favorites and new daylilies enjoying their day in the sun. And while it's a lot of work, it's also proved to be an engaging, rewarding hobby. Her passion for daylilies has led to lifelong friendships with members of her club and gardeners she meets online. But the simplest aspect of daylily hybridizing remains her favorite: sitting in her garden with her husband, waiting to see what blooms next.